growing up in the kingdom. This week we've been looking at the passage found in 1 John chapter 2 and seeing the different stages from being a child, a young adult, and today we're looking at what it is to be spiritually mature. Now you may say, Dee, I've only just got born again. How long is it going to take me to become spiritually mature? And I know there are other scriptures in the Bible that share on maturing spiritually. But here are some very basic beliefs that we can tick off, knowing that if we understand we're saved, if we understand what sin is and the devil is, we go through a spiritual maturity. You know, I know Christians that have been saved for many, many years and yet are still doubting whether their sins have been forgiven or not understanding the authority when it comes to that the enemy has been defeated. So this is really just a guideline for you to have a checklist to say, okay, this is what I believe. I'm growing up in the kingdom. So what does it look like to be spiritually mature according to 1 John chapter 2? In the Passion Translation, he actually says, I remind you, fathers and mothers, you have a relationship with the one who has existed from the beginning. In the Amplified, it says, I'm writing to you, fathers, those believers who are spiritually mature, because you know him who has existed from the beginning. Now, you may say, well, Dee, this sounds very similar to the child one knowing their father. But it's a different perception of who the Father is. This is coming from what is the one and how does he look like from the beginning. So you may say, Dee, well, what did he look like in the beginning? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. Because in Genesis chapter 1, we see that God said, let us make man in our image according to our likeness and let them rule over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the sky, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. You see, the God that existed from the beginning, and that's what we need to understand as spiritually mature Christians, is somebody who wanted relationship with us. He loved us so much that he made us in his own image. And then what did he say? I'm giving you all authority. I'm giving you authority over every creature and over, now we know, over every spiritual being because of Jesus defeating the enemy. But then what did he say? And God blessed it and said, go be fruitful and multiply. You see, the God that existed in the beginning loved us. He gave us value. He gave us purpose. And that is what a spiritual mature person needs to understand, that we are loved, that we've been made in his image, that we can go forth and be fruitful because he's blessed us. We can multiply the gifts that he's given us, our talents, our time, our finances, that we can be faithful with what is in our hands and go and produce so much fruit as we live our life here on earth as it was in the beginning. I always remember that I knew my mom as a child and there were so many different perceptions, but that all changed when I had my own child. And suddenly I became a mother and saw my mom as a mother through a mother's eyes. And that's what I believe John is talking about. We see the Father through mature eyes, knowing who we are from the beginning, that we have this identity, we have value, we have purpose. And as we walk in that, this maturity attracts the children. We get to be a mentor to the young people around us. And we know that as we go out, we are being the light and the salt to this very dying world. So go and be a mature Christian. Grow up in the kingdom. We're not going to have tantrums. We're not going to be like young children trying to get their own way. No, we're walking in our true authority as wonderful, mature fathers and mothers in the kingdom. I hope this has helped you. I know I've been blessed this week, and I long to go and meditate on these scriptures and see who we are in Christ and walk in this maturity that He's called us to. Go and do that this week, and always remember, you are highly favored and deeply loved.